Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at the Connected Hope category challenge for the LGE GT stage. So this is the Connected Hope challenge. It's a pretty tough one, or used to be a pretty tough one. We've got quite a few options nowadays that are pretty good solutions for this stage. Previously we didn't really have that many leads. We've gotten 2 new leads quite recently, and we've got quite a few very solid options. So in terms of this team build that we're running today, we're running double Tech Gogeta. So I have a 55% LR Tech Gogeta, and of course we have a friend duped Tech Goku, Angel and Vegeta, which I always advise. Double Gogeta is the best for me because Gogeta has obviously damage reduction, which is pretty good. Also the creation of rainbow key spheres is very helpful, and of course has the ability to transform. That transformation, if you time it correctly, is very helpful. Obviously the transformation itself recovers 30% HP, so it helps with healing. Then of course it features the ability to foresee super attacks for 5 turns, which is very good. And you know, basically it's got the ability to foresee super attacks, that damage reduction, the crit typing. It's all very good. And if you time it right, you can pretty much layer up 2 turns of crit typing, which is pretty solid overall, and makes the unit pretty powerful. At least in my eyes, I think it's the best lead. We then also have the LR Gohan and Trunks. So that's the LR Super Saiyan Gohan and Super Saiyan or Trunks Youth and the Super Saiyan Gohan transformation. They're a pretty good unit. Obviously, again, pretty much in their base form, a very solid defensive unit. Nothing spectacular, 55%, but a very solid defensive unit. We will be using the revive mechanic for a bit of a heal at some point also, and of course the ability to foresee super attacks as well, super helpful, along with the pretty good damage reduction and mitigation that Gohan provides after transformation, which again is pretty helpful. Then alongside that specific unit we will be running the physical future Gohan. So physical future Gohan obviously got his EZA. His EZA is pretty damn good. He has attack of 158% and raises his defense up to 158% based on how low your health is. He also reduces damage by 30% and then continues to further increase that damage reduction by 7% each turn to a max of 58%, pretty much making him a brick wall at some point. And because we have the LR next to him, while that LR is in their base form, we will have an additional attack and defense of 120%, and we will have a high chance of critting. Ideally, if you had more dupes in the Trunks and Gohan LR, you could probably just like leave them in base form and have that kind of run the whole way through. We're not going to be able to, which is just one of those things, but it's more than fine. The other 2 units that we're running, pretty straightforward. So we're running the Int Gotenks, an exceptional unit, honestly just very good. For the most part he'll be running in Super Saiyan form, which is Ki +2 and attack and defense of 100%. He also has a high chance of attack of 50%, a high chance of defense of 50%, and a high chance of another defense of 50%. He also has a medium chance of launching an additional super attack. Both of those greatly raise his defense. And then we will use the Super Saiyan 3 form once we hit the Tech phase for increased damage so that we can take out the Tech full power Goku as quickly as possible. The Tech form has attack and defense of 100% with an additional attack of 100% when performing a super attack, has Ki +3 and a great chance of launching an additional super attack for 4 turns from the start of turn, along with also greatly raising attack and defense for 3 turns. So Gotenks gets to some pretty nutty numbers, which you'll see a bit later. He's really helpful in terms of damage, and he's going to be a nice damage boost for that final phase to get over the final hurdle. And then our last unit that we're using is the Namek Goku. So this is the Planet Namek Goku. Now Namek Goku has 2 abilities. So the first is his transformation. That transformation you want to try and get pretty early on in the fight. I know it's quite difficult, but you getting it here, around here, is pretty good. because once he transforms, he will begin stacking his defense. Goku has attack and defense of 80% with 59% additional attack after receiving an attack once. So basically 139% attack, but it does calculate a bit differently. So yeah, the Goku's pretty solid, but again, like just talking about units in general, Goku has a guard ability which will help, but it only really has a 30% chance to proc, so it's not really the most reliable ability in terms of like this is going to get you production or anything like that. It is I would like to say a little bit wonky, but he'll be fine. You just need to make sure you keep him on rotation, keep him stacking, let him build up his defense, and then he'll be more than okay. If you don't let him build up his defense, it will be a little bit of a problem, so you really do want to try and focus in on that. In terms of the actual event itself, obviously we've done the LGE a couple times now. There's plenty of videos for you to watch as a reference, but it's 7 phases. So you go for the strength Goku, the physical Goku, AGL Goku. So once you're past that, AGL phase is a good time to transform the strength Goku, because it gives him enough time to stack, but also he doesn't then have to face the AGL phase. Or at least, I mean, you can transform him then as well. It doesn't really matter too much. The earlier you transform him, the better, to be entirely honest. Then we have the strength grade 8 phase. Obviously that's something to focus on. And also you want to make sure that you transform this Trunks and Gohan unit when they will die and activate the revive skill. It's very, very important that you do that, otherwise you're going to end up taking way too much damage. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Obviously the physical phase, talking through all the Goku's abilities, nothing really interesting. They're all immune to stunning, they are all immune to stealing. And then from the physical Goku, the second phase onwards, they're all immune to attack lowering. The only really notable ones to mention is that the Super Saiyan 3 Goku can evade super attacks. So this Goku here, this physical Goku, he can technically evade super attacks, which obviously is somewhat irritating, at least for the most part. So yeah, keep your eye out for that. And then the strength ape form does hit quite hard, so you do need to be careful there. Fortunately, in terms of this team build, we don't necessarily carry the most physical units overall. We're not taking a physical Gogeta here, so yeah, basically that's about it. The 6th phase is where you're going to want to consider transforming your Gogetas, and we'll talk about that when we get there, because choosing that time to transform those units is very important. If you layer the abilities properly, you should get 10 turns of the ability to foresee super attacks, which should be enough. There's no reason to transform the other Gogeta at any point while the other one's foreseeing super attack ability is up. It's really not necessary. So don't do that. Just make sure that you keep them, that you don't transform them, and that then you can kind of focus on everything. So as you can see, we're on the strength grade 8 form now. I am going to start cutting the footage at this point, because it does these events do just take a while, and sometimes seeing the same procedure happen over and over just isn't really necessary. So yeah, in terms of the connected hope category, there are some suitable alternative units overall. So if we're just looking at the units before we talk about the final phases, there are some pretty decent units. You've obviously got the AGL Martian Vegeta. You've got the physical Gogeta unit, or the Goku and Vegeta Angel, which is a lot stronger on the JP side. You've got the physical Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta Angel. You've got the AGL defensive Otherworld Warrior Paikuhan. You've got AGL Nail, who's pretty good. It's a real shame that for some reason physical Piccolo is not on the connected hope category. Not entirely certain why. Because Namek Piccolo is on the connected hope category, but I guess maybe because he's part of the Namekians at that stage. But yeah, I'm not too certain. It would be nice if the physical Piccolo was on the connected hope. It would be pretty easy. The Int Super Saiyan 2 Goku that turns into an SS3 Angel Goku is also an okay option. And like I said, yeah, that's pretty much it. The AGL Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, he's also a decent option overall. Nothing spectacular, but he does hold up his own. Even though he will take quite a bit of damage in the final phase if he does catch a super attack without an item. He's not got that level of power, I should say. So, yeah, definitely would say you need to kind of semi-consider if you want to use him. But there are still some alternative options. It's not just this team. Physical Bardoc's also okay, especially after his recent EZA. And the Int Future Gohan's also pretty solid, along with obviously the new Int Majin Vegeta, who's pretty good. So yeah, we are going to transform the Tech Gogeta at this point. We're going to have him transform so that we can have the ability to see super attacks, so that we can get the crit, get the extra damage. When you enter the last two phases, it should be okay to transform him. The important thing is it's going to help to save a lot of damage that might occur during the Int phase, so that we can save that damage so that we don't have to use as many items. And then we should have more items left over for the final tech phase. That's kind of the idea behind it. So it's just, yeah, it just really kind of depends. As you can see here, we took quite a bit of damage right off the bat. This Goku still didn't really stack up too much, and he didn't get any guard activated, so that's why we took quite a bit of damage. But it's okay. Yeah, it's fine to take a bit of damage. Just make sure that you try and heal it back. We do have some stackers, so we can utilize orbs to heal up, you know, here or there. And we should be able to get it done, at least pretty decently, I should say. So yeah, just gonna have to try our best, and yeah, but we'll be fine. This Vegeta here will be fine in the back slot. Just again, obviously you don't want him to get super during the tech phase. That's kind of the biggest no-no, I would say. But yeah, you know, we've got the physical Gohan, the physical future Gohan, who, you know, should be able to carry us through this in a damage sense. Like, should be able to carry us through. Obviously, we have some concerns here, like if you see with, you know, Gotenks, just trying to make sure that I get him orbs. Make sure you get him super attacks. If he double supers, he'll be more than fine. He's a very strong defensive unit. Especially if he gets his high chance for additional defense and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not entirely out of the realm to have, you know, Gotenks be perfectly fine without an item as well. So yeah, just, you know, realistically you should be okay. Like I said, physical Gohan, he's going to carry us. He's going to get some good damage in. He tanks exceptionally. So, you know, you can really use him to absorb a lot of the attacks. We do get lucky here in that the Goku does kind of target him with a couple supers throughout my Int phase, which is really good. Obviously kind of beneficial luck, really helps us out there. And yeah, you can see we're really kind of pushing through this phase pretty quickly, which is good because you do want to get through here pretty fast. Like, you want to try and get through him in those 5 turns that you have with Gogeta, even faster possibly, just so you can see super attacks, so that you can obviously handle everything. And yeah, I will be using the rage mechanic here. So the nice thing about rage mechanics is that they now pause the turn counter. So any damage you do during this turn will actually like reset the turn, well, not reset the turn counter, but will pause it. So we were at 2 out of the 5 turns, but you basically get a free turn. And with the Namek Goku, it's actually pretty good damage, so it's actually a really good turn. I ended up getting like 3 or 4 crits in that turn, so it's a very good turn overall. Here you'll see transforming the Gotenks, super duper, like, very important. I would have liked to have done it earlier, but he was just off rotation, and so we didn't really manage to get him back onto rotation until, you know, we'd done this much damage. But yeah, he will do huge damage to this full power Goku. You're gonna see him hit him for a lot, you know, 3.5 million. I think he's gonna do 3 supers here, and you'll see how much they stack up. I mean, like 3.5 million here, the next one will be like close to 4 million, then the one after will be 4 million. So yeah, he can really hit some crazy numbers, which is obviously very, very good from a damage perspective. And he basically finishes off the full power Goku immediately. Also, not to mention, after all these supers, his defense would be pretty high, pretty decent, especially with the type advantage. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's it for the run. Obviously, yeah, it's going to depend on what your guys' box is like and everything like that. But for the most part, it was a pretty good run. The Connected Hope's really got a couple buffs lately and some really good leads now. So it's actually quite a much better operated team. So yeah, just looks a lot better. But that's going to be it from me, guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it. Otherwise, leave a comment, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video. But as always, that's it from me. Bye.